Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm gonna do something today that I kind of feel is a bit embarrassing, or at least it's embarrassing for me. I don't know. I'm also embarrassed easily, so that's not great. But basically what I want to do is just kind of show you an exercise that I do when I want to loosen up a little bit and kind of get into more of a flow state. Basically, I take up my sketchbook with the intention of making bad work. So if I end up making something great, then that's amazing, but that's not really what I'm aiming for. The goal of this is just to make marks and chill out. I think one of the reasons I feel embarrassed about it is because I know that it's gonna turn out bad, even though that's absolutely fine. All artists make bad work, and I feel like that's just like normal. But for some reason, I feel really scared to do that a lot of the time. I think it's because like I'm scared someone's gonna be like, oh my god, that's terrible. You're such a bad artist. How could you even call yourself an artist? And then I'd be like, you're right, which is kind of silly, but I'm a little silly, so. Anyway, one of the reasons I like doing this is because it does help me relax a little bit and get me into that flow state like I was saying before. But I do want to incorporate a little bit more of a playful aspect to my work because, you know, I've been really thinking about the last few weeks in doing the exercises in the artist's way and just kind of thinking like, do I like my own work? And if I don't, what do I want to change about it? And I feel like sometimes my work is just so serious. Like there's no room for fun sometimes, and I want there to be. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of doing this today. I do want my work to have more of a carefree element to it, but I also do want to keep with representationalism and some of the stuff I'm still doing right now. While I'm doing this, I'm just trying to be more thoughtful and contemplative with my strokes and just listen to myself. I've been thinking a lot lately about how much I post and use social media, and I've cut back a bit regarding how much I'm consuming, but at the same time, I feel like I need to put out more content. It's really confusing as an artist to like balance this, at least it is for me. I am a slow, methodical worker, and I feel like right now we're in a world where you have to constantly be producing something and constantly be posting all the time, and I just don't have a lot to post. It's because I'm just taking my time with stuff, and I know that that's not bad. Everyone has a different process, but for some reason I feel like it's bad because I feel like it's not enough. I've also noticed that I have a bit of an issue with kind of giving into the process of creating art. Like, how do I even break down what I'm trying to say? For instance, I barely work in my sketchbook. I just find working in a sketchbook to be a waste of time, and I know it's not because I come up with really good ideas when I am working in my sketchbook. It's less daunting than going to a canvas, yet I don't want to work in my sketchbook because I feel like it's not going to end up being a finished piece, and I feel like everybody wants to see a finished piece all the time. But who am I doing this for? This girl. So I don't understand why I kind of, I don't know, have these thoughts in my head that I always need to be making something finished and that that's something that people care about. I feel like it is, but at the same time, I don't know if that's true or not because I'm also like so interested in seeing other people's processes and how they kind of got from point A to point B. I just don't know if other people love that or not. I feel like I always need to be creating a finished product, and if I'm not doing that, then what's the point? I'm afraid of wasting my time. It gives me anxiety. So for instance, if I spend the day creating something and I don't have a finished product at the end of the day, then it's a wasted day. Instead of just spending the time enjoying something like new, like learning something new. I've never really given myself the space or time to just do something new that I'm not good at, which means I'm like never learning anything new. And I'm kind of like a big proponent that learning new things is a really helpful guide to becoming more creative because it just gives you, it kind of like breaks you out of this cycle and kind of gives you more thoughts. Like, I don't know how else to say that. I don't know, I feel freer when I'm trying new things because like part of me, even though I do feel like I need to be good at this, and if I'm not good at it, then that's kind of the end of the world. But then at the same time, I feel like when I am enjoying doing something, and even if I'm not good at it, I can still like gain something from that. Anyway, just want to try new stuff. I also want to make more of an effort to work in my sketchbook, so I'm gonna really be focusing on that for the next few weeks, I think, and just see where that takes me and trust that process. Anyway, that's kind of all the thoughts I had for today and what I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna leave you there. I'll see you soon. Voiceover Sarah here. I felt like I kind of unexpectedly ended this stream of consciousness conversation I was having because I just was not sure if I was saying anything substantial. But listening back, I feel like I was kind of saying a lot of things that were valuable, or at least thoughts that I feel like are valuable. So I just want to continue with it a little bit. Anyway, this is random, but I've been listening to a lot of Joe lately and his music. It's just so unpredictable and playful, and it's been oddly inspiring for me. I really like listening to artists that I can tell that they're just making music for themselves. I'm sure it's really difficult when you also get to a certain level of fame to not continuously do the same thing over and over again. So I just have so much respect for people who don't do that. I do find music to be such an inspiration in my life. When I hear a song, I need to listen to it non-stop. And that's how I've been with Joe's new album. And honestly, I've also just gone back and listened to some of his other albums, and I've just really enjoyed them. I'll put up some of my favorite songs by him right now. I've also really been thinking a lot about validation in art and how it can be really challenging to not want validation when pursuing a creative career. I think this is partly because it can be difficult to measure what success is, and then also when art is so personal, it feels so deflating to put everything you can into your work and then not have it recognized. I think for me at this point, I've really tried letting go of wanting any type of validation from anyone, whether it's my peers, family, or people in the industry. At the end of the day, that validation doesn't mean anything. I think I would rather create something that means a lot to me and is my favorite piece ever than create something that I think other people will like and, receive that validation from it. I've definitely gone the route in the past where I've created something and didn't like it and then received that validation from making it. And then that validation ended up not meaning anything to me because I didn't like it. I just felt like an imposter at the end of the day. And honestly, I do still feel like an imposter almost all the time. I just feel like there's just always this doubt in me that I'm struggling with. And I know a lot of other artists struggle with it too. But, if you go that route of making something and then you hate it and then you don't even get that validation that you wanted in the first place, it feels wasted. It feels like wasted time, resources, everything. Or if you even make a piece and you think everyone's going to love it and then they don't even end up liking it, and then you're like, wow, wasted time again. Yeah, I think I've kind of realized, I guess, that the only person that I need to be kind of making art for is me, and that's the reason I started doing it when I was a kid, and I want that to kind of stay with me and still be the reason that I do it all the time as an adult. I don't know if anyone else, thinks about that stuff or struggles with that stuff, but I kind of just wanted to talk about it because it's been on my mind. I also just wanted to say that it can be really difficult to follow your own path, especially when you don't know you're on the right path or not. There's no set path for an artist. It's not like there's an easy step-by-step guide to becoming successful. Every successful artist has a different story on how they got to where they were. For me, I kind of feel like I'm at this stage right now where I've started to embrace how uncertain everything feels. And in a weird way, it's exciting because I just don't know what I'm doing or what I want to do right now with my work. And that kind of is nice. Like, it just feels like the possibilities are limitless with what I could do, and it's giving me this sense of hope and excitement, and I don't know, it kind of feels really good. Anyway, these are just some thoughts that I was having and wanted to share. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.